Hi friends, I'm Stacy, the chapter Conundrum, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to do the quintessential rite of passage for any new booktuber, the Booktube Newbie Tag. So question one is, why did you start this channel? So I'm somebody who's been watching Booktube for years and years and always thought, okay, maybe someday I'll make a channel of my own. Well, my life circumstances have recently changed. I recently got married. I'm working on immigrating to the US. And because of that, I am in a phase of my life where I'm about to have a ton of free time because it's going to be quite a while before I have permission to work. I was thinking, what better timing than now to have a new creative outlet where I can talk about something that I absolutely love, reading. It also helped push me over the edge into actually making a channel now that I am living in person with my husband, Jake, the bookish drummer. It just seemed a lot less intimidating to go ahead and start my own channel while I had the expertise of an experienced booktuber right beside me. So question two is, what are some fun or unique things that you can bring to Booktube? So other than the obvious, like my unique personality or my unique reading tastes, I would say one of the things that I can bring to Booktube that a lot of people can't, not saying no one else can, but a lot of people don't have a spouse that reads as much as they do, that's willing to be an active participant on their channel, and that's willing to collaborate on reading content as a couple. So you'll definitely get a lot of videos of my husband and I talking on my channel about various things in our reading journey, which hopefully you guys are interested in seeing. Also, because my husband is an established bookish creator, I already have some experience creating things like readathons and reading challenges, and while those things aren't necessarily unique to Booktube at all, I feel like the spin that we put on them, or the ones that we create, are definitely unique in their own way. And actually, we have round 4 of Battle of the Bands happening on my husband's Discord in July. So I will link the information for that down below if you're interested. So question 3 is, what are you most excited for in regards to this channel? And for me, I have to say it's finding people with similar reading taste to me who I can get great recommendations from. I've been part of the Booktube community on the periphery as somebody who either watches Booktube videos or who is active in bookish community Discords, but I have trouble sometimes finding people with very similar reading tastes to me. So I'm hoping that in having my own channel where I talk about my own tastes a lot more, I'll be able to find sort of my niche group of people that have the same tastes that I can always rely on recommendations from, and be even more excited to jump into the books on my TBR. But I'm also really looking forward to just engaging with the community in a whole new way and to having a new creative outlet. So question 4 is, why do you love reading? For me, there are several reasons that I love reading, but I think 2 of the biggest ones are just the escapism factor of reading, just being able to be transported into a new universe, a new situation, and to just be able to sink my brain into somebody else's story for a while is such an enticing and great feeling. And also just reading about character experiences, learning about the emotions that they're having based on their experience, and just reflecting on their reactions to things helps me really empathize with people in my day-to-day life. Reading has really helped me understand people with different personalities a little bit better. And I always find it fascinating when I find a little like truth nugget or a little snippet of a book that makes me reflect on something that I've encountered in my past. That's like, oh, that could be why this person was reacting this way to this thing. I not only find it interesting in those types of moments to gain some hindsight into things I've encountered, but I also can find sometimes that encountering those types of things where the character has a very similar personality to me is a little bit validating or reassuring me that I'm not alone in how I react to situations. Question 5 is, what books or series got you into reading? So of course I have, the standard answers like Hunger Games, Harry Potter, and Twilight. I mostly picked up books based on my sister's reading tastes and her recommendations if they weren't popular, and I actually kind of credit her for more getting me into reading than the popular books and series did. I mean, the popular books and series definitely didn't hurt because I found I had a lot more people to talk to about reading once I was reading things like that. But I would say the first year I really became an avid reader was 2018, and that was randomly the year that my sister just started passing me down all of the books she had read and enjoyed that she was done with. So things like The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager, But then in about 2020, when I really got online more because of COVID, I started discovering fantasy, which is what I predominantly read now. And some of the earliest fantasy stuff that I read that helped pull me into that genre more and more were things like Outlander and The Poppy War and some Cosmere like Warbreaker and Final Empire. I also think that was about the same time I discovered Ready Player One. So question 6 is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? And I basically boiled it down to 3 things. Number 1, I would ask, what do you know now that you wish you knew when you were first starting your channel? Number 2 is, what general advice do you have for a new booktuber starting out? And number 3 was, what hurdle have you faced in your booktube journey that you didn't expect to? So question 7 is, what are some challenges you foresee in starting this channel? So there's always the, typical new creator stuff like imposter syndrome or self-doubt or just letting go of things being perfectly how you envisioned them. But mainly I think the biggest challenge for me will be balancing my current reading goals, like finishing out some series, reading books I already own, with getting all these new recommendations from comments and being invited to be involved in so many more things in the community like buddy reads. Buddy reads and sort of discovering the community and getting recommendations is how I got myself into this scenario in the first place, where I'm in the middle of so many ongoing series and why I have to have a goal to read sequels and finish out series, as well as now the content I want to create. There are probably going to be some video ideas or video series where I have to read certain things in order to create that thing. And so just finding a new balance between all of those is going to be a challenge for me, I think. Question 8 is, when did you start reading? So I always sort of dabbled in reading all growing up. My sister has always been an avid reader, so I always sort of had her influence and lots of books around the house because of her. But it was really the beginning of 2018 when I really started reading. I think I read about 82 books that year, when probably the most I had read in any year prior to that would be maybe like 6 to 10. So that's kind of when reading exploded for me. And there were a couple of reasons for that big change in 2018 for me. One of them was that my sister started handing me off all of her read books that she was done with that she enjoyed. And the second one was that I discovered reading challenges existed, and Goodreads. I had no idea Goodreads was a thing before 2018 either. But yeah, so I found the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, I found Goodreads. My sister had been passing me all of her books, and one thing led to another, and here we are. So question 9 is, where do you read? And the answer is pretty much everywhere and anywhere that I can. Most of the reading I do is through audiobooks, and I've been tracking my reading stats for years, so I'll put like little graphics here to show you. But I think somewhere between about 60 to 70% of my reading is on audio. And so I do all kinds of things while I'm reading. I walk my dog, I do chores around the house, I listen in the car when I'm going somewhere. Basically, any opportunity I have to continue reading a book I'm enjoying, I'll use it. Realistically though, most of the reading I do happens just while I'm doing things around the house, or while I'm sitting on the couch or laying in bed with a book. Question 10 is, what genres do you read? In recent years, I've predominantly been a fantasy reader. Always at least a third of my reading is fantasy. But the genres I read next most often are either sci-fi, thrillers, contemporary romance, or fantasy romance. Question 11 is, what does your book collection look like? And I will go ahead and insert a video clip at the end showing you guys my shelves. Just a caveat that this is an amalgamation of my husband's books and my books together. We've recently meshed our collections and sort of organized our shelves to make everything fit the best way we can. But before I go ahead and pop over to that, I just want to say thank you all for watching and hope you have a great day. Bye!